So good day everyone. My name is Michael Bernaldich and I am the first reporter of the group. I am really eager to be part of this kind of discussion that we have for today, and we guarantee that we will do our best to discuss our part, to rationalize, give examples and explain them to you in order for every one of us to have a better understanding of the lesson that we have for today. And I remind you all guys that you have to listen first very carefully all throughout of this kind of discussion that we have for today, because on the latter part of our discussion there is a Q&A portion that you have to answer first. So hello my fellow classmates. So without further ado, let's get started. So since we are the first group to report, I would like to uncover or even unlock the words globalization and multicultural literacy. So what is globalization? So it is the process of interaction, even integration among people, companies, and governments worldwide. So when we say multicultural literacy, it is our ability to understand our very own cultures and of course cultures of other countries.
Before we proceed to our lesson for today, let us see our learning objectives. By the end of this discussion, the class is expected to first, define what global literacy is. Second, diagnose the importances of global literacy. Third, understand why people need global literacy skills. Fourth, identify the characteristics of a global citizen. And last, become familiar with the global competencies.
So okay guys, this is my ultimate part about global literacy. I know that some of you are still wondering about what global literacy is, and we are here to help you to understand what global literacy is. So based on the given meaning, when we say global literacy, it is an understanding of how the world is organized and interconnected. So when we say global literacy, it is also known as global awareness and global knowledge. So when you have this kind of skill, you will be able to appreciate, understand different cultures, customs, beliefs, and practices all over the world. And based on the given meaning, students who are global literate are able to think critically about the world and about the role that they have to play in it. So there is a big possibility that students who are global literate are able to know and identify global issues and give solutions for those issues and able to do their duties and responsibilities as local and global citizens. So moving on to the next slide. So global literacy promotes and encourages. So the first one is about inquiry, reasoning, and problem solving. So well, if we are all global literate, we are not contented of what we already knew, right? And most especially if there is our eagerness to know more about something, whether in a particular place, cultures, beliefs, and practices of one community. So of course, our curiosity arises because we want to learn more something and we want to know more something. So we are able to observe and even answer questions that we have in our mind and able to reason out. So we are able to observe and solve problems, and that makes what global literacy being emphasizes and capitalized. Then the second one is about collaboration. Collaboration, yes, global literacy promotes collaboration because people, even countries, are working together to solve certain problems, especially during the times of conflict or even pandemic like what we are experiencing right now. So if you have noticed, many countries are being collaborated with one intended purpose or intention, which is to produce vaccines. So after producing vaccines, they would distribute the vaccines they have produced to different countries, especially to those countries who have high rate of cases, positive cases of COVID-19. So with the main purpose, which is to stop or to quite stop the spread of the virus or to eliminate the spread of the virus as soon as possible. So that is the meaning of, or the sense of, collaboration. So moving on to the third one. So the third one is global literacy promotes communication and understanding words, languages, and cultures. Yes, because like what I said earlier, we are open to communication because we are globalized. So countries, people, and even governments are able to communicate because we are globalized already, and because of the global literacy that is still existing in each country. Yes, we can understand different cultures and languages because we can be aware because of the word awareness. And fortunately, sometimes we adapt and acknowledge different languages and cultures in our lives. Then the last one is about understanding globalized system and political realities. In political realities, we can also be aware about what is happening in a particular administration of our president. And of course, because of the word awareness, like what I am saying, we can also aware about the issues happening inside and outside the politics, and that is the essence of global literacy. So the next one will be discussed, or will be discussing by the next reporter, and it's your turn.
So the fifth, global literacy promotes and encourages the responsive global citizenship. So defining global citizenship, it is the awareness of interconnectedness among people, societies, and environment around the globe. It is also emphasizes the responsibilities and contributions of a person into a global societies and economy. So being a global citizen, we can get also the benefits of it. So for example, first, we can build our own understanding about world events. Second, we can develop an argument and voice our opinions. Third, we can get involved in local, national, and global communities. And the last one is we can see that we have a power to act and influence the world around us. So next is respect for diversity. So diversity encompasses acceptance and respect. So it is also means that each individual is unique and recognize that they have individual differences. So in relation to our future profession, it is given that we will encounter students with a lot of differences, like differences in cultures, differences in talents, differences in beliefs, and also differences in learning styles. So it is important to value and give them the same access to all opportunities regardless of what are their differences. So next is an understanding of the skills and technologies that are necessary for life in the 21st century. So we must consider to input the understanding of the innovation of life and the rapid transition to technological age. So as an educator, we must possess the 21st century skills and have the awareness of the technologies to innovate our way of teaching. So the eighth is the ability for students to become advocate for themselves, their state, city, or country. So this is the power of being an influential student. So for example, the student is excellent when it comes to academics. So educator can really help them not only by honing their intellect, but also their moral that can drive their capabilities to greater heights. So they would notice in the long run that they are also making their name known to others as well. So according to the study of GUWO 2014, global literacy aims to address the issues of globalization, racism, diversity, and social justice. It also aims to empower students with knowledge and take actions to make positive impact in the world and their local community. The study of GUWO clearly addresses the stigma of other people about different cultures and races, how it really affects the global awareness of people. when it comes to accepting that there are people or community who have their own ideas and knowledge. It is also tackles how global literacy can open up minds. That is not always certain or group of people can make differences. It is around the globe that also have the same or maybe better strategies possess. My topic is all about global citizens' characteristics. According to Ontario Ministry of Education, global citizens should possess the following characteristics. The first one, respect for humans no matter their race, gender, religion, or political perspectives. As a global citizens, we need to respect our differences because we are born in different places and we grow up with different cultures and traditions. So as a teacher in the near future, we will be going to encounter different students with different race, gender, religion, and political perspectives. We need to respect and be aware of our students' ways of life. Respect can also be taught through stories, textbooks that we have, and we can teach globally without traveling from one place to another. And we can teach them through the help of the resources that we have. The second one, respect for diversity and various perspectives. Global citizens respect diversity and various perspectives. When we say diversity, this is the differences of every individual. Like for example, we have different talents, skills, and ability that we need to respect for us to avoid discrimination, to avoid conflicts, because everyone has our own uniqueness. And in the field of teaching, our students have different perspective, and to respect their diversity, we will going to give them an activity wherein in that activity they will be going to show their uniqueness to everyone. Like for example, we will going to group them based on their talent and interest. And also, people have different perspective in life, like religious beliefs and political perspectives, that we need to respect to avoid causing problems and to be able to understand that everyone has an opinion that we need to respect. The third one, promoting sustainable patterns of living, consumption, and production. Process that can be conducted to have better living, consumption, and production. It is an action to make these things possible. We need to know how to produce without destroying something. The example of this is we should be responsible for using resources and to know how to conserve energy, electricity, and water. Like for example, we need to consume what we only need so that the production will continue increasing, because if we consume a lot, it will consume or it will cause problems to the production. The fourth one, appreciate the natural world and demonstrate respectful towards the rights of all living things. So, not only people have lives, right? Animals and plants have lives as well. That's why to be a good citizens, we should protect our environment by planting trees, cleaning our surroundings. And there are a lot of things that we should teach to our children to show respect to our environment. Like for example, we will going to teach our children how to appreciate the nature. Teach them how to care the environment. As simple as that.
So now I'm going to discuss the more notes on global literacy. So according to the Asia Society based in New York City, to work, to produce, to participate in a global society, young people needs the following. First one, knowledge of other world regions, cultures, and global or international issues. So it is very important to have the knowledge of other world regions as well as their cultures. Why? Because it is for us to, to deeply understand how we became different from one another, and for us to build a sense of respect regarding the cultures we have. Also, young people needs the knowledge about global issues for them to be aware of what is happening around them, for them to be able to know what is the issues circulating worldwide, not just locally but also internationally. It is important for us to know when and how to react, to participate, to give our opinions and give sympathy to other regions. It's somehow important because it's a way for us to be knowledgeable about global issues, because we are the people and we are the leaders of tomorrow. Second one, we have the skills in communicating and collaborating in cross-cultural environment and in language other than English. So we all know that good communication skills and collaboration are two of the most important skills in the 21st century that students need to learn and need to possess. So these two are very important to build a strong relationship and good rapport to both parties. An effective communication begins with understanding the message being sent and, somehow giving a good feedback. Also, learning the culture and having somehow at least basics about the language of different countries is important to address misunderstanding and achieve their common goals. Third one, we have skills in using information from different sources around the world. So this simply means that do not just stick in using just one source. Learn to, utilize different sources, for it allows us to compare and evaluate the informations we gathered worldwide. It is also somehow a great way for us to have the knowledge we need to understand other world regions. By doing that, we should teach our students on how to decipher informations they read from other sources around the world. Fourth one, values of respects and concerns for other cultures, peoples, and places. So for me, life would be easier for all of us if we value and respect the culture of other regions, their places, as well as the people living there. If we build the values of respect and concern towards one another, different issues and problems globally can be addressed and can be solved. This includes racism, the cancel culture, hunger, and many more. By doing that, we can learn a lot of things, or we can learn a lot of good things from one another, and we can share the culture, tradition, and norms we have. And it's a great way for us to get to know to get to know more each other, and to build a good relationship from one region or one country to another. And the fifth one, we have global literacy is not a separate subject. So meaning to say, it is taught and integrated in different disciplines or different subject areas that will inform and teach our students about the issues circulating globally. So global literacy can be integrated in subject areas to introduce the culture, norms, traditions, and way of living of other countries. But in what way? How can we implement or how can we integrate global literacy in different subjects? It is simply by teaching our students about arts, sports, games, performances, and festivals that are related and that are tackling about other cultures and other traditions of other countries worldwide or across borders.
Now that it is clear to you what global literacy is, let us now proceed to the range of competencies that young people like us have attained that enable us to connect, compete, and collaborate with peers around the world. First, we have young people acquire essential global knowledge and understanding. If you have this particular competency, you can examine and understand world regions, current events, and even global issues. In this point, you can recognize how international systems are interconnected and interdependent. So why global knowledge important? Take note that global knowledge is important because it allows students to appreciate diverse perspectives and the connections they have to the wider world in order for them to effectively communicate and collaborate across cultures and countries. When we finally understand diversity, we can see the world from multiple perspectives, and that is our second competency. Now, if you have this competency, you can analyze and evaluate global and local issues from different points of view. For example, have you heard of the issue between the Filipinos and the Koreans that occurred last year that made the trend #CancelKorea? The issue started from the Filipino TikTok star named Bella Porch and her rising sun tattoo. The tattoo is similar to the centuries-old rising sun symbol that Japan used during the World War II, and that is when Korea is under the Japanese rule. Conflict arose between the Filipino and the Korean netizens when Koreans started leaving racist comments, and as we all expected, Filipinos fought back with negative comments as well. If you are a global literate, you patiently analyze both sides of the particular issue, regardless of you being a Filipino. You can understand the views from both sides. You have the ability to manage different perspectives objectively and impartially, considering the fact that you understand the complex interconnections between global issues and individual realities. Now that you understand different perspectives, you can easily communicate across cultures and boundaries, which is our third competency. When you obtain this competency, you have the ability to participate effectively in diverse cultural situations because you have the right amount of knowledge to understand cultural diversities. Furthermore, you have the ability to use technology, language, and collaboration skills, which are very important in the 21st century learning. Now that you can easily communicate with different people, even across borders, you are given a task to take responsibility for your own learning and for the planet. That would be our last competency. If you have this competency, you have the ability to engage and understand critical global issues, making ethical decisions and responsible choices that contribute to the development of a more just, peaceful, and sustainable choice. You are not just making decisions for yourself, but you are now thinking about how your decision will affect or contribute to the society. You are now thinking as a global citizen. And what is a global citizen? Take note that a global citizen is someone who is aware of and understands the wider world. As future educators of this generation, it is important for us to understand the relationship of global literacy and education. If we truly understand global literacy, it will be easy for us to bring the world into our classroom and teach our students a more relevant information that might help develop their lifelong skills. Now that our discussion has ended, we would like to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and even your questions about our topic for today.